while we're on the subject of blondes, and I want to share this story with you.
Hmm.
I have a client. She's a double process.
Okay.
I tone her with a 10 pearl. It's absolutely gorgeous, but she lives. Well, they have a house um, in um, in the Cayman Islands, and
Nice.
she goes there 2 weeks at a crack, out in the sun, in the surf, all that, and she comes back. The toner's gone, and she starts. She's getting a little big birdish.
Okay.
So I gave her the Therapy toning spray. Am I using? Is that the right term for it? Yeah, the blonding spray. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. No, I knew what you. I
understand. I gave
meant.
her the blonding spray, and I told her, put it in a Ziploc bag, take it, and leave it in your house in the Caymans, because it's an island. They have a heck of a time getting products, things like that. And she just came back to me on Wednesday. They were back in town, and dude, her toner, it held. It kept her hair as blonde as the minute she walked out of the salon. She had a little more added porosity from the salt water and all that, but other than that, her hair was absolutely amazing. And I wish I could take all the credit for this. I did to her. I said, yeah, I told you this, but wow. As stylists, all these products that we have at our fingertips that can help keep our work looking awesome. Why would anybody choose not to use these products? I'm confused. To turn your clients on to something that they really need, especially all the blood, sweat, and tears that we put into blonding hair.
It's a matter of convenience. I don't think a lot of people focus on the long game. I think everybody's too concerned and worry about what's in front of them at the moment, and they're just trying to get through their day. I like where the shift in the industry is going towards, though. There is a shift in the industry where the long-term maintenance is becoming more of an acceptable thing. Universally across the board. It obviously exists in hair extensions. It exists in keratin smoothing treatments, but it doesn't so much exist in styling, hair cutting, and in hair color. But now it's starting to become, more prevalent.
Right.
And what is awesome about that is because, the retail market makes a huge difference. It matters. Recommending the right products to help maintain the current style of what's going on. I think what it's gotten to the point where we've hit critical mass. There is so many different types of products out there that now there's the saturation. It's oversaturated with the amount of products and options that are out there, where clients now, before they were trying to figure it out themselves, or they would listen to the stylist, and then it kind of shifted where stylists weren't recommending often enough and clients were just kind of sorting it out themselves, right? But it's come back around full circle. There is so many different things out there. Trying to figure out which is the right product for your type of hair has really become a thing, has really become a very most important thing. A lot of stylists are calling and asking for help with referrals or recommendations on certain products. The one thing fits all mentality is finally starting to simmer down and go away, which makes me so happy.
Right.
This all-in-one, 2-in-1, this one-stop shop does it all products. You need targeted things for targeted problems. You need specific things for specific issues, okay? That blonding spray, for example, it's a semi-permanent color. What a semi-permanent color means is it lasts from wash to wash. So if you spray it into your hair, it is going to ever so lightly deposit a little bit of toner into your hair. Now, if you're blonde, especially if you're blonde, the number one problem in blondes is that they turn brassy, and they don't like that. What that really means is there is a primary of the three primary colors, yellow is the smallest molecule. It's the most prevalent color. It's the most annoying thing because it's so small. There's a lot of it, and it gets into your hair, and it is constantly re-exposed from any kind of heat, sun, especially if you're in the Caymans, right? If you're in that area, when your hair starts slightly lightening up, it's going to start exposing that primary color. And that's what everybody interprets as brassiness. So
Right.
being able to control it with a violet, a blue, a green, some kind of ash, really the best thing to use is a violet. But, you know, I understand there's blue and green out there as well, too, that people like to use. The point is, when you're using these specific types of products, you're counterbalancing the effect of the other thing. It's just paint by numbers at this point, you know, and you're balancing it out. That's why these things work as well as they do. And it's awesome. There are violet shampoos. There's violet conditioners. There's violet leave-in sprays. You know, there are an array of products out there that have some kind of pigmentation to them that counterbalance and offset the effects of the issues that happen. I know we're talking about violet, but like, for example, you could get red shampoos and conditioners and leave-ins, you know, and it'll help refresh that. If you're worried, like a lot of people with dark hair, they're like, oh, I'm starting to see red. Okay, well, your darkness, something is happening. You need to refresh that. You know, there's even dark pigmented things as well. Blondes is the most prevalent one. Blonde is the most popular one because when things start going wrong in blonde hair, that shows itself the worst.
Oh, sure.
Or the most, or whatever the right way is to say that, you know?
Right.
But that's how that thing is working. And it is reliant on frequency of use. A semi-permanent can only last shampoo to shampoo. But like how I love the little thing that you talk about with compression, with heat involved, you know, even though it's only topical, even though it's only, you know, last shampoo to shampoo, if you overuse it or if you misuse it, that frequency of use, yes, it is important, but it could become detrimental.
Right. I agree. And I think the thing to really remember about when we're talking about all of these products, the blue shampoos, the you know, and the blue violet conditioners, all of those things, when we lighten the hair, what's the first color? What's the first pigment to leave? Is blue, right? From red, yellow, blue, and then you're left with different stages of yellow and red. And the thing to remember is when we tone, we're putting pigment in there. So when you use these products, you're actually putting another layer of pigment on top of that toner. So when you shampoo, when you're out in the elements, whatever, that layer is going to go first before that toner layer. So you're actually kind of filling the hair too, right? Would you say that?
You're protecting the hair. Yeah, you're protecting
the hair. And I think that we as professionals, stylists, whatever you want, whatever moniker you put on yourself, I think part of making that recommendation or giving them that prescription to keep their hair in optimum color and condition is very important. And I think that, you know, you have an ear infection, you go to the doctor, he gives you an antibiotic, right? And it tells you to take that antibiotic for X amount of time, you know, 2 weeks, whatever, right? And if you've ever just taken it till you feel better and then stop, and then all of a sudden your infection comes back and you go back to the doctor and he looks at you like, you know, it's the same thing. It's almost the same thing. We have to start prescribing, you know, And to put that point to bed, when you go back to your doctor and you're like, hey, my ear infection came back, and the first thing question is, did you take all the medication? And when you say no, you're still paying for that freaking visit to the doctor, right? Either way, you're paying them. And it's the same thing. If they're not taking care of their hair the way we tell them to, as far as especially our blondes, because they got to take care of that blonde. There's certain parameters that you have to operate within. I just think it's so important that we as professionals give them a professional recommendation. And I think, and there's a lot of avenues you can take with that. And I know a lot of people right now are looking at me going, John, I'm an artist. I'm not a salesperson. And that's a subject for another day. That is a subject.
I don't think that has anything. You know what, though? Look, what is the most common damage? What is the most common damage that occurs to hair color that'll start pre-lightening color before the client has time to come back in? Because there's always this argument, oh, my color faded. It's like, no, your color technically didn't fade. What you lost was vibrancy and intensity. For your color to fade to that degree, some extremity must have occurred. Okay? So let's talk about that. Like, what is the most extreme thing that can happen to hair that can start burning away hair color, that can start prematurely lightening hair color outside of the salon?
First things first is their heat tools.
Heat tools, yes. Oh, I'll give you a multiple choice.
Okay.
The moon, the sun, the heat tools, or the oven?
Yes. Look, at one point in my life, I kept trying to stick my head in the oven. It didn't work. No, it's the sun. Obviously, it's the sun, but it's also heat tools too, because as you and I are very famous for, is our mall kiosk flat iron story. But some of those heat tools that they use, I mean, and not being shown how to actually blow dry their hair correctly, where they're laying that nozzle right on top of the hair with their brush. That's pushing pigment out of the hair. But yeah, the sun is the number one, because the sun, I mean, look at an old car that's been sitting in the sun. What does that dashboard look like?
And that's what it is. I don't think people realize how often they're out in light, and that's the thing. And it's like, oh, well, I only drive to work. I don't stay outside. Yeah, but you walked outside to get to your car. You drove. You got stuck at every red light possible. You was in the sun.
What's a car?
What do you mean, what's a car? Huh?
I'm just making fun of your accent. You said you walk outside to your car.
Listen, guy. When you're driving around in your automobile, okay, you are in the sun. No, but that's the whole thing. And if you really think about it, I mean, just the elements in general, the environment and the elements in general.
Right.
You got your ceiling fan going. I got my fan going too. That wind is creating a certain amount of friction into the air, just because it's just passing through. Now, it's not that much. Yeah, sure. But it's the microaggressions that continually happen, and it's how our body is continually bombarded. And it slowly, eventually starts to create a cumulative effect where it starts to break down the porosity of your hair. And as the porosity of your hair starts to break down, it starts absorbing more things.
Right.
And that doesn't always mean it's a good thing, or, it could also be a bad thing, like in this scenario, right? And that's the whole thing. So it's just a buildup over time of everything. And that's really the problem.
I get that. But just to circle back, put a pin in it. Just to circle back is that we have a lot of things at our disposal as stylists, as professionals, that we could be giving our clients or recommending for our clients to help maintain the work that we do. True or false?
No, this is true. This is absolutely true.
So now that we're on this subject, what is one of your favorite blue/violet shampoos and conditioners to recommend to your clients?
No, look, you were talking about it earlier. It really is a powerful collection. The Totally Blonde collection from Cara Therapy is a very solid trio.
Ooh.
It's a shampoo, a conditioner, and a leave-in spray. Okay. If you're interested, you want to check it out, you want to find out more, go check it out. HTBbeauty.com. Go to the website, check it out.
You guys
we
won't
distribute Cara Therapy to the entire state of Illinois.
100%. You guys will not be sorry. I was put in my hand, and I am very lucky because of my affiliation with you and Darren, where I get things put into my hand that I probably would have never even looked sideways at, and blows my mind every time. I am
one of the things I appreciate about Cara Therapy, though, when they're doing their product development, one of the phases is the testing. The testing is actually sent to us, like it's sent to the educators across the country. Okay. And then we have to sit in these online virtual meetings and discuss. There's a lot of forms to fill out. Like, they're very serious about this. They don't mess around.
Right.
So it's fun. It's fun to be part of that process because they really do listen to our feedback and our complaints. Like, it's not enough, or it's too much, or it's this, or it's that. It's cool. It's really cool, especially when you see the product actually come to market.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I had a hand in that. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So it's
very cool.
It's interesting. It's really, really interesting. But the amount of care that they put into it and the amount of pigment that they've loaded into it, that they've actually upped it more than what it originally was during the product testing phase. And they were very concerned because all of us were saying, no, you got to put more in there, man. This is just not violet. There's not enough violet in it. And they were kind of nervous, and they were thinking it was going to get a little bit too much, like to the point where it would start staining the hair. Right. And it's like, no, it's still a semi-molecule. It's a semi-permanent molecule. It's going to be fine. It'll be fine. So
it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
We're having fun here. So,
thanks for joining us for today's episode. If our hair topics made you smile, give us a thumbs up. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll read them while waiting for our caller to process. Share this video with your stylists and friends. It helps us make a difference, one strand at a time. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Because your hair deserves all the latest and greatest tips.